I tell you that your anonymous gifts, these gifts of kindness, are getting in the way. There getting to be more and more of them up here, and I got more slips, so if you want to be nice a little bit longer, go ahead and be nice some more. Take one of these, add it to the chain if you've got some. I got a stapler here to be able to add to it. But I like how it's getting crowded up here and how it's taking up the room. Isn't that what happens under your Christmas tree too? Those gifts we give to one another begin to crowd up under there. And when I was growing up, our Christmas tree got, crowded is a good word for it. Because there were 9 kids in my family, plus mom and dad, and so just do the math, there's a lot of gifts underneath the Christmas tree, even if they're small. And then my Granny May, she would send a package to us, and it was always a great big box, right? And we never opened it because we knew that she didn't wrap her presents. And so that great big shipping container got set somewhere over there under the tree, and it crowded it up even more. And invariably, you know what happened with all, we moved forward, and then there was that one little widow lady who wasn't really celebrating because she didn't have much to give. And probably people around her weren't celebrating much because it didn't look like a real gift from their perspective. But somebody noticed because they knew what could happen even with that teeny tiny gift. And we've probably all been that type of giver who gives wonderfully and abundantly. And I'm not telling you not to, because we kind of need those kinds of gifts, don't we? And we actually encourage you to do that. That's why we have you fill out the pledge forms so that we can give you a receipt, so we can give you credit. You can get the tax write-off. We want to be able to do that. We want to be able to use your giving that way to be able to set our budget, to be able to know how we can spend money and how much we have. But when we give only to give credit, then we miss the point of the gift, don't we? And we sometimes lose what's most important about that gifting that we do. And if I'm only waiting for those opportunities where somebody sees and I get credit for doing it, then I'm going to miss opportunities, aren't I? I'm going to walk by people who need the gift that I can give in that moment. Because credit focuses on our own perspective and often makes it so that we don't see God's perspective. And how many know that your perspective is not quite God's? And our job as people of faith is to choose to not let just our perspective speak our actions, but to try to see larger than just our perspective. To try to let that God presence within us and around us make us see more than what we would have seen and help us to give out of the perspective that is informed by the divine presence with us. I propose that one of the greatest gifts we can give to ourselves is when we give to others anonymously, having no possibility, or seemingly no possibility, of return. So the giving becomes less about us and more about the greater meaning of the gift. Sid Miller is the State Agricultural Commissioner in the state of Texas. And he, this week, came out with an announcement that people had to tell him Merry Christmas or nothing at all, and that he might just slap anyone who says Happy Holidays. And I believe in saying that. I believe he thinks he's giving a gift. But he puts his expectations on those gifts, as we often do ourselves. And so you have to receive it in this way. You have to do it this way, and it becomes less of a gift. Anonymity at its finest means you get no recognition and no return. That doesn't quite feed our ego well, does it? But here's the thing. We all need anonymous gifts. We all need someone who gives to us as we travel through their life. And if you don't believe me, sit at the corner of trying to get out of a parking lot of Circle K this time of year. And don't you need that small little anonymous gift? Right? We all need it because the cars won't let us in otherwise until someone chooses to say, I don't know you, but I'm letting you in. And that small gift is something we all need on a regular basis. And they're not always just small gifts, these anonymous gifts. We need to be able to be open, though, to be able to see when and how to do it. And I know you know how to give anonymously. You know how I know it? Because all of us have gone to white elephant parties. And I've gotten some of the anonymous white elephant gifts you've given. And I know you were hoping that I wouldn't remember it, I wouldn't know it was you. Right? It's not quite that anonymous gift that we're talking about. We're talking about that gift where we give completely and openly and freely, not trying to get rid of something bad out of our life, but trying to be the type of giver that God asks us to be. Can we give in that wondrous, in that way that just gives without trying to get something back? Because, like you, I've been the person on the other side of that gifting where I'm holding on to my steering wheel and I'm studiously looking out the other way and not seeing, or choosing to not see and not give that gift. Or sometimes I look out this way because the one who needs to receive a gift is over here, hoping we reach into our pocketbook. And I look the other way and choose not to give. And it's not just when I'm in my car that happens. Throughout life, I can choose to look and see and give, or I can choose to look away. I can choose to let my heart be moved by that other person even though I don't know them, even though I don't know how this will help or not help. But I choose to give or not give. Anonymous giving in all those moments of our lives connects us to the larger community that we are, the community that we sometimes, oftentimes, forget. I received a gift from a wonderful young woman named Nancy Maslin, a book of poems. And in it she talked about her ancestors. She said, that's what happened to us this last couple of weeks. Somebody came and took our little star shower. And I want to complain about it. But maybe that's the anonymous gift I need to give. And can I give it anonymously? Not just because someone came and stole it, but in every single moment. Can I see that not as an intrusion, as an invasion, as something that's taken away from me, but can I see it as an opportunity to give? Can I take all those moments where somebody knocks on my door or tries to merge in front of me, and can I give them the gift? Not one finger, but can I continually reach into my pocketbook or into my energy, and can I give to them in that moment, in spite of whatever intrusion it seems to be? Can I do that? And I want to say, then they should just come and ask me and to pass that force on through the gifts that we give. To continually connect ourselves to that thing which connects us all, and to acknowledge and become that force in each other's life. About 3 weeks ago, I was sitting at Southside Church with a bunch of friends who had been prayer vigil leaders along with me, Rosa. And the one who was leading us in this moment gave us a prayer from the Baha'i faith, and it says, make us signs of your divine guidance, the standards of your exalted faith among all people, servants to your mighty covenant, manifestations of your divine unity in your holy kingdom. and resplendent stars shining upon all regions. Isn't that a great prayer to pray? God, in this moment, in this anonymous moment, can I be a resplendent star that somehow shines into this space? And if you know me, if you know stars, you know that they don't shine so brightly that they get noticed all by themselves. You see them, but they don't shine all the illumination, but they give guidance, don't they? They help us to see that there's something more than just the darkness. And sometimes they lead the wise guys to be able to see something they wouldn't have seen before. They bring them to places. And that's what we're asked to be, are those stars that somehow shine, that somehow in this one moment give a little bit of illumination. And all that illumination becomes resplendent when we all give. One of my favorite people at First Church Phoenix. And one of the wondrous parts about this whole Christmas story are these angels that come to a worried Joseph and a scared Mary and those distant shepherds, and they speak this little anonymous gift that allows them to see something of how God might be present in that situation in which chose to give a gift. Because what she saw around her was the homelessness that happened there. And I can imagine why somebody might want to be homeless there. Not a bad space to be on the street. But she chose to go and take pictures of these street people, these travelers. And she chose to try to put it together into a thing that would move people to be better givers. She came across one particular man, very emaciated and just bedraggled with clothes that was just as smelly as could be. And the folks in shine God's grace into each other's hearts. Amen?